Matt says I use a microwave to dry. How can I help? Oh, wait, we're answering some questions on the chat. Hey, there you go, boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen.
I've got a question on drying a bowl blank. I just put the first one in the microwave for 30 seconds and then pulled it out, let it start cooling. And I'm wondering.
How thin is your bowl? Your bowl's already turned? How thin is it?
Twice turned. So
How
it's
thin
the
is it?
first turn. It's
How thin is it?
about 3/4 of an inch thick right now.
Okay, good. How big is it? How big is it?
7. Well, let's see. When I put it on the bandsaw, it's a brand new bandsaw, so I enjoyed that conversation earlier. Also, it was a 7-inch blank.
Okay, and how wet is it?
Very wet.
Okay, I always microwave at 50% power.
Yes.
If it's very wet, I start it at 7 minutes. Okay, not 30 seconds. What's that?
I was doing 30 seconds at a time.
I hear you. It'll take forever that way.
Okay.
I put mine in a brown paper bag, and if you want to put chips in there, you can. The purpose of the brown paper bag is to retard and regulate the moisture evaporation from the piece. And if it's really wet, I'll go for 7 minutes. And
Okay.
then I pull it out of the brown paper bag and I pull everything out and I let it cool. Okay.
But the key there is at half power, right?
Half power, half power.
Yes, or defrost.
Okay.
Yeah, you're doing it at 50% power. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Now, the real question, though, that right at this moment, when I pulled it out for the first time, this particular blank, the pith was right at the edge. So I am seeing a little bit of a crack starting, or maybe it's a little bit of moisture that has come out.
Okay, this process will accelerate cracking and checking. If you've left the pith in, you've got to examine it closely. What I do is I use extra thin super glue. If I start seeing a microwave cracks, starting to evolve, I will super glue the heck out of them. Okay.
Well, that was kind of my real ultimate question. Is go ahead and start using, because I've got the thin CA, and I use that on my other stuff. So go ahead and start that right away.
Yep. As soon as you see a micro crack developing, glue it.
Yeah.
And if you can catch those, and if you're lucky, you'll have just a few micro cracks or whatever, and they won't evolve into much bigger cracks.
If you do, if you do 7 minutes at 50%, how hot is that bowl when it comes out? Is it
Pretty warm?
Almost
could
too
be
hot to
warm.
touch.
almost too hot to touch? Okay.
Yeah, I'm handling it with the brown paper bag while I'm taking it out. I put it somewhere where it's not going to set it. I have set 2 pieces on fire. Both of them were because of cavities that I did not know were in the wood already. And what I figured out what happens is that cavity dries, the air inside that cavity heats up, and that cavity dries a lot quicker than the rest of the wood. Then the air inside that cavity heats up and the heat has nowhere to go, and it eventually will catch the wood on fire. And if you smell it, immediately stop and pull it out.
Another key for success is consistent wall thickness. So you have to have consistent wall thickness all the way throughout. You can't have like 3/4 inch at the top, 1/2 inch at the bottom, 1 inch at the base, because it will dry inconsistently and it will crack 90% of the time. So the key is very consistent wall thickness.
Yeah, I've got that.
And if the pith is in it, you want that wall thickness less than 3/8 of an inch to relieve the stress from that pith.
But I imagine when I actually second turn it, the pith is going to be long gone. But still, yes.
At some point, Gary, I submitted my whole process as a PDF to the Worldwide Woodturners website. So it's on the site somewhere in the documents. So if you want to read, I've got all my notes and everything in there. So if you want to read through that, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I think I have, but my question was more on the cracks, though.
Yep.
really.
I
Oh,
addressed the cracks in
Yeah.
that too.
Oh,
So, yeah,
okay. I missed that. Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Okay, Matt, we got a question
Uh,
here. I know my
let-
answer
let me-
would be, but
Eddie-
somebody's asking, will the microwave melt the CA glue?
It could. It will off gas. It'll be in the air when you open the microwave. So don't inhale too quickly because you'll be inhaling the CA
Cyanide.
glue.
Yeah.
Under the
Yeah,
same
know it.
thing, under the same guise, and I haven't been doing it a lot of microwave drying, but one of the things I read is they recommended putting a cup of water in it when you microwave it, and then leave it in the microwave because the purpose of that is to keep moisture on the outside of the vessel, to keep the outside from drying too quick, and let the microwave take the inside water and force it out. So
Yeah,
part of the
that-
drying process was actually put water in there and leave it in the microwave in the humid environment, and to start pushing the water out and keeping it from cracking as bad.
Yeah, hey, Trey, what I
it-
remember is the person who was doing that was not using a brown paper bag. Okay, so that was their
Yeah.
regulation mechanism, was
Yeah.
having the water in the microwave.
I found that the brown paper bag does exactly what Trace is saying. It controls humidity on the outside. That's like if you want to dry a piece that you just rough turned and you can't do the microwave and all on it. I learned, pardon me, a long time ago was pick up the shavings off the floor, same species of what you're doing, put it all in a brown bag with the wood, and about once a week, open it up, let it breathe a little bit, and close it down. And that allows the moisture to release from the inside of the wood slower, which is where the crack comes from.
Yeah, and it comes out more regularly too. It doesn't come out of one part faster and so on when you've got it controlled like that. So it regulates the humidity in there.
So you don't turn a football.
Right. Yeah,
If-
you're rough
if- yeah,
turning
no, I
to
understand.
an
If
inch
the-
to 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah, if you get it thin and you don't do drying properly, it'll be a football. You'll never get it back the shape again. Give up on that. It's art.
Yeah, and there's a comment in chat that says, don't use the kitchen microwave. This is an absolute fact. Your wife or spouse will never forgive you. Your